Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video in which we're going to be playing with a good portion of the brand new Lisa Eldridge Spring and Summer collection. If you're not new to my channel, then you know I have absolutely loved the Lisa Eldridge beauty releases. I have reviewed quite a number of them here on my channel, and when this collection was teased, I knew I was going to have to grab as much of it as I possibly could. In this video, we're going to discover it together, play with it. I'm going to apply it on my bare face first, get a feel for the colors and how the textures apply, and then I'll guide you through how I created this look using the products. Before I get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Jody. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Hope you're going to enjoy this one. And if you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up while you're watching and consider joining our growing makeup family. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for the continued love and support. And a special thank you to the first 5 commenters on my previous video. You know I love and enjoy hearing all your ideas in the comment section. Those that have YouTube channels will have the YouTube logo and be linked down below in case you're looking for some fun new channels to watch. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this video. The spring collection for Lisa Eldridge was absolutely beautiful. She came out with 2 new products to her line, the first being the Elevated Glow Seamless Skin, and this is a highlighter. I picked mine up in the shade Crystal Nebula, and it is available in 4 shades. A lot of them are still available. She also added to her Gloss Embrace collection. I picked up one of the 4, I believe, new shades. I picked mine up in the shade Affair. One of the most exciting pieces of the collection, and the one that is currently completely sold out, are her Enlivening blushes. These are cream blushes. They're available in 6 shades. I picked up 2. I picked up the shades Island Glow and Pink Poetry. The one that I'm wearing today is Pink Poetry. She also added to her luxuriously Lucent lip colors. I have the original 2 shades. I believe she added 6 shades. I picked up 2 of them. I picked up Atomic Cherry and Painterly. Atomic Cherry is the one I'm wearing on my lips right now. So like I said in the video, before we get into the nitty-gritty of how I created this look, I want to play with the products a little bit so that we can discover them together. I will be applying them to my bare face. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's actually towards the end of my day already, and I was really winding down, but then I got a package and I got my Lisa Eldridge order from her summer collection, and I wanted to sit down and try all with you. I put everything in this velvet bag. I actually ordered, I think, 6 items, which I think should have led me to get another velvet bag, but I was only able to add 1. I don't know what that was all about, but either way, I've placed enough orders on her website that I have at least 1 of each. So it's totally fine that I just got the 1 pouch. It's super cute. I chose the blue one this time around. From her newer products, I picked up 2 of the liquid blushes. These are $34 a piece, and of course they are now all sold out. They're called the Enlivening Blush, and you do receive, let's see, 15 mils or half an ounce of product. These are made in Italy and they do have a 24-month shelf life. The other product that I picked up was the Elevated Glow, and this is the Seamless Skin in the shade Crystal Nebula. These retail for $38, and these are actually surprisingly still in stock. So if you are interested, I will be demoing the shade Crystal Nebula. She also launched new shades of the Lucent lipsticks, the luxuriously Lucent lip colors. I have the other 2 that she launched. One of them was Go Lightly, and the other one was, I think, Love of My Life or something like that. These retail for $36. They're made in Italy as well, and they have an 18-month shelf life. It's not the first time that I try this formula. Like I said, I already have 2, but I'm going to swatch both of these on the lips. And then I picked up another one of her glosses. She launched a lot more gloss shades, including the shade Affair, which was a really popular matte lipstick. It was kind of the most nude of them all. This one is 4.5 milliliters, 0.15 fluid ounces, also made in Italy, 36-month shelf life for these. The price of the glosses were $25, and there's still some in stock as well. So it looks like the blushes were the most popular option. You know I wanted to buy absolutely everything, but I really pared it down to the shades that I thought would flatter me the most and also give me a little bit of variability in the colors. So I picked up the shade Pink Peony, which is this one, and the other one is Island Glow. So I have more of a peachy one and more of a pink one. They come in these really pretty packages, and I really appreciate that you can see the color inside the tube, and in addition to that, it does have a label with the shade name on it as well, so that's really nice. We're really discovering this together. So you just unscrew the top and you just have a squeezy tube. So let's go ahead and start with the shade Island Glow. That's what it looks like swatched on the back of my hand. Since I have to, I'll just do one on each cheek. So I think I will try to apply with my fingers, so I just kind of blended it out. It looks super pigmented. So I'm just kind of tapping it in, seeing what the shade looks like. It has like a reddish tinge on my skin tone, I would say. It blends out super easily just tapping. I don't have anything on my skin right now. I will apply it over foundation after I get a sense of how the shades apply. Very pretty natural flush on bare skin. It blends out really easily. So even though it looks very intimidating at first, it looks like it's a buildable formula. I'm gonna try it with a stippling brush now, and I'm just swirling the brush on my hand. And I'm intensifying the color. It's really pretty. It's a very rosy, fresh shade. I obviously put a whole lot on, but you can really keep blending it in, and it just goes like, looks like I was just exercising actually. So that was Island Glow. I kind of applied 2 layers, and here's what's left on my hand. We'll try Pink Poetry on the other side. When I squeeze it out, there's like a tiny bit of clear liquid, possibly some oils that are kind of separating. So this one has more of a magenta feel, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply it on this side. So I pretty much was figuring I'll get one blush that I can wear with cool tones and one that I can wear with warm tones. Although almost anything starts to pull a little bit warmer on my skin tone because I have really warm undertones. It blends out so easily. I feel like this one is more pigmented than the other one, but it could be because the undertones of the Island Glow match my skin tone a little bit more, so this one stands out. It looks like I'm super cold, which I was really interested in trying out. I think she called it Mountain Glow or something like that. It was the deepest shade. It looks so pretty. All right, now I honestly think that's pretty intense already, but I do want to go ahead and try to intensify it. I'm just going to use the same brush. I'm wiping it down on a towel. And like I said, it's already pretty intense, but I think we can build it up a little more. Yeah, definitely can. Look at this. Oh my goodness. This is actually, I would say, like maybe one of the medium shades, but you can definitely build it in. Look at that. I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit. A little bit goes a long, long way. That was just the tiniest little bit I applied on the back of my hand too. The nice thing is, I don't know if you can tell, especially since I don't have foundation, it sinks in and it really looks like that's natural. Like that's just me flushing, since you can see, you know, the rest of my skin imperfections. So there are the 2 blushes. So on my right side is Island Glow, and on my left is Pink Poetry. Because of my skin tone, I think that Island Glow is the one that looks a little bit more natural, and this one looks kind of like something very fresh that I would wear maybe in the winter time. I'm very anxious to get into the new product, so let's go ahead and get into the Elevated Glow next. Here's the bottle. It's a beautiful frosted glass with Lisa Eldridge on the front, seamless skin. It says Elevated Glow, and then there's a sticker on the bottom identifying the shade. And like I said, I picked up the shade Crystal Nebula. I believe this is one of the lighter shades in the collection. I'm gonna give it a good shake just in case. This cheek looks crazy. Okay, and it's got a gigantic doe foot. I'm gonna put, oh, let's just go straight into the face. Why not? Maybe I'll put some here and a little bit there. Let's see how that goes. So I'm gonna start by blending it out with my fingers. It's really, ooh, I have my hair in the way. It's really pretty. It's blending in really nicely. Let's try this side. Try to blend that side out with a sponge. With a sponge, you get a more diffused application. It looks really pretty. Really looks like my skin is just wet. Because of the lights, the camera is picking it up really intensely that it looks like it's almost white. But when I'm looking at it in the mirror, it really just looks like my skin is glistening. Like, it doesn't look white. Let's go ahead and blend this one out. So that's the shade Crystal Nebula. I was really tempted to pick up the peachier one as well, but I told myself just wait, try one and see how you like it. That's intense. It's pretty intense. Let's go ahead and swatch the lip products too. I'm gonna start with the gloss. I picked the shade Affair because I like the lipstick so much. She released a lot of really bright colors, really pretty variety of colors, I would say. I don't wear gloss that often. Oh, this is so pretty. I went like stone silent for a second there. I'm gonna have to play music or something for you. So I'm just gonna apply another layer. So this is what one layer looks like. I like the gloss formula. I definitely appreciate that it doesn't smell like mint. It's pretty much unscented, but I never really cared for the applicator a little bit. I felt that when you apply the gloss and then your product transfers to your lips, the applicator itself kind of feels a little bit rough, in my opinion. I like the size and shape of the applicator, but for some reason the felt or whatever the material is, it drags on my lips a little bit. But this color is just gorgeous. So this is the shade Affair on me. It's so pretty and her glosses are so comfortable. Let's move on to the lipsticks. It was so difficult for me not to just purchase all of the new shades. Prior to this launch, I have all of her other shades, 100% all of them. But it's hard times right now. I'm still wearing a mask for the most part, even though I'm fully vaccinated. And so I picked out the two shades that I love the most, which were Atomic Cherry and Painterly. We'll start with Atomic Cherry, and her packaging is just always as beautiful as always. It's like a brushed brass finish, and it's a magnetic closure, of course. The bullet does have her logo on it. You can see the Lisa Eldridge logo there. So we'll go ahead and try Atomic Cherry. To me, this was the punchiest of the shades, and I thought it would be really fun for summer. So here's a swatch of Atomic Cherry. Keep in mind my lips are pretty pigmented on their own, and these are more sheer balmy lipsticks. They're so comfortable on the lips, absolutely super comfortable. I'm hoping that I don't have any bleeding in my lip lines because that's what usually deters me from wearing more glossy reds. Usually it starts bleeding up into my lip lines, but this is such a pretty color. And it's interesting, but depending on which side of the blush you're looking at, if you look on this side, it looks a little more corally, and on this side, it looks a little bit more red, like it's playing off of the blush color. It's so pretty. Definitely a sheer color, so you're gonna see your lips through it, even with a heavy swatch, but it's so comfortable and beautiful. The other shade that I picked up was Painterly, and this is one of the deepest shades, I think, in the collection, but I thought it would give me a really nice kind of my lips but better color because it is so sheer. So even though it looks very deep in the bullet, I think it's gonna look more like a soft nude on my lips. So here's a heavy swatch of Painterly. I really like this color. It has a mauve plummy vibe to it. It's very beautiful, and it has a really interesting undertone as well. I think that it can go both really well with warmer looks and you can see more of the brown, or cooler looks and you can see more of a purple vibe to it. Very, very pretty. Here's how that lip color plays with Island Glow. See, it pulls a little more brown, and here's how it plays with Pink Peony. I kind of like this one better with Island Glow personally. Alright, so now that we looked at all of the pieces individually, I'm gonna put on some makeup and actually apply it over a full face of makeup. I just wanted to get a feel for the colors and the application on a bare face before I started creating an actual look. Alright, so we're starting out with a clean face. I did apply a priming moisturizer. I used the one from Good Molecules, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the highlighter first. So it says in the instructions to apply a couple of small dots of the products directly onto clean skin after moisturizing. And then I know that she said in her video that you should let it dry a little bit so that the film, I'm reading off her website, so that the film itself forms that mesh on the skin. And this mesh is supposed to be a little lifting, a little tightening. Can we find a way to put that into every foundation for the over 40 club over here? All right, so she did say to blend with fingers or a brush. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this one with my hands. And because I'm gonna be going over, I'm not gonna be going exactly over this with foundation, but I'm gonna be applying foundation all over my face. It doesn't really matter if I go a little bit too low or a little bit too high, because then I'll place my foundation exactly where I need it. You know, she said that this was kind of blurring a little bit. And how amazing is that, that a highlighter can actually disguise, you know, some of the issues that we might have. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend it with my fingers. I'm pretty sure I applied too much, but again, since I'm going to go over it with foundation a little bit, I think that's going to be fine. I'm also going to use a foundation that I feel has more of a natural finish, so that any glow that you see on my skin is going to be from this alone. So here's Elevated Glow applied. I'm going to go ahead and work on my eyes a little bit to let that film work its magic. And the foundation that I'm going to apply is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. So I will be right back and we will work with the blushes. All right, so this is where we are so far. So let me tell you what I did. I did go ahead and apply my foundation. I applied it very lightly, and I opted not to go over the portion where I had applied the highlighter, just to see how it would blend. And it actually blends really nicely. Like, I feel that since the highlighter is indeed a little bit blurring, and I did kind of feel the tightening, unless this is, you know, just the power of suggestion. It's not like I feel my skin is tight, but if I felt it, I don't know, it felt a little bit firmer. Like, it felt just a little more plump, and I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but I did feel like a firmness there. So I applied the foundation super, super lightly. I wanted to go with the vibe of the cherry lips with the bright blush, and so I wanted to keep my eye makeup really simple. I'm wearing the Marc Jacobs eyeshadow in the shade Daddy-O, which RIP. I put a little bit of this topper shadow over top, which I probably will be decluttering. This is the Studio Makeup Endurance Cream eyeshadow in the shade Pink, and I just applied a tiny bit, and that's the shimmer that you're seeing on my eyes, and I applied a very fancy bronzer. I am wearing concealer. I didn't powder over the highlighter, but I did powder my concealer, so maybe a little bit got over the highlighter, and this is what it looks like with no additional product applied. I think it definitely still has luminosity, but of course we're going to add a little bit extra. I'm also going to apply the highlighter first and then the blush. Oh my, I think I went in with a very heavy hand. I think that was more than enough. In the product description page, it says that you can blend it with your fingers or with a brush, so I want to try it out with a brush this time and see kind of how it layers. So even though I don't powder my foundation, I did apply a little bit of bronzer, and so there's going to be a small amount of powder in this area. I don't put on heavy layers of bronzer or powder, so I'm not really afraid that it's going to be lifting up. And you can see right away how intense it really is. I really did not need that much. I'm using the Sephora collection. Remember when they used to give us VIB Rouge presents? Does Emily Noel make anybody else pull out this brush? She loves this brush and uses it very frequently, and I think it's really good for cream products. It's very, very pretty. My skin just, honestly, it just looks healthy. It doesn't look greasy, but it's definitely catching the light. And there's nothing greasy about this, which you would expect with some luminizers. They're more hydrating. This definitely dries down. It takes a little bit to dry down, but it does. All right, so we will leave that there. I'll probably go over everything with a sponge, especially if I go in a little too ham with the blush. I put a tiny little dot on the back of my hand, and I'm going to pick it up on a brush. I saw her do this in her reveal video. I'm going to apply just a little bit on the inner corner. It's just the tiniest amount that I'm picking up, and that has more of an impact than the glitter. I applied. Because I want to use the red lipstick, I think I'm going to use the shade Pink Peony, and I'm putting just the tiniest little dab. I'm going to have this blush forever. I just put the tiniest little dab. And I think I'm going to actually blend it out on the back of my hand there. And I'm just placing the tiniest amount right on the apples of my cheeks. And then I'm going to go ahead and stipple. That just gives me such a pretty, healthy glow. See, I'm learning even just from my first application on my bare skin, and I do feel that it's blending really nicely with my foundation. It's blending nicely with the bronzer. It's really pretty. This is definitely a cooler toned pink shade, and it gives me a really fresh appearance. I'm just going to go over it lightly with my sponge. Very lightly. I just want to blend it all together. And now I'm just going to finish it off with Atomic Cherry. So you can see I applied a very light layer to my top lip. You can see even my bottom lip is super pigmented, but you can see the color already. So satisfying. Well, I think this is our finished look. I definitely think it goes with the vibe of the collection itself. It's very fresh face, very clean, and so I didn't want to go too crazy with the eyes or too heavy with the foundation, although of course you could if you wanted to. And I'm sure as I keep experimenting with the products, I'm definitely going to glam them up a bit. So let me zoom you in a little bit so you can get a really close look. You should be able to see pretty much everything, and you'll see I didn't apply a lot of foundation as well, so you'll be able to see my skin. It looks like skin. It just looks like it's glowing from within. You sure can see everything. You can even see where I got mascara on my eyeshadow. I'll definitely clean that up. All right, now that we've taken a really good look, I will be back with my final thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing how I created this look and getting really close up and personal so that you can take a really close look at how the products applied. Let's go through the collection one by one. I'll start with a gloss since this is something I'm familiar with. I really like that the glosses are unscented because a lot of companies tend to prefer mint scented glosses, and for some reason I don't enjoy those. I prefer mine to smell like vanilla or cake batter, that kind of fragrance. So I appreciate that this is unscented. Like I said, I'm not a very big fan of the texture of the applicator itself, but the shade Affair is really, really beautiful and correlates with the lipstick in the shade Affair as well. Affair is not in stock right now in the velvet lipstick, so if you were curious, then Affair in the lip gloss formula is available, and it's really, really pretty. I do love the lip gloss, but like I said, the applicator is just not my favorite. Let's talk about the lipsticks next. I'm familiar with the formula already. You know that in anticipation of this launch, I was creating a lot of Lisa Eldridge-esque makeup looks on my channel. I love the magnetic closure. It's beautiful packaging. It's magnetic closure, as I mentioned, and it's kind of brushed brass finish. Her logo is at the top, and I'm really happy with the two shades that I bought. The one that I'm wearing, of course, is the shade Atomic Cherry, so you can see it on my lips, but I also swatched Painterly for you, and of the two, I feel like I'm gonna get more use out of Painterly. It's more of a wearable shade, whereas this one is a little bit more punchy. I also think that Painterly is really flexible with regard to seasons because of the really interesting undertones that it has and how it can play with other products that you have on your face. Either way, with these lipsticks, I don't think you can go wrong, and they have a lot of shades still available on their website. So with those two products, they were more just shade extensions. So let's go ahead and talk about the blushes. I really like the packaging of the blushes. It's really compact. You get a ton of product relative to how much you actually need when you apply it. We saw that when I gave myself bright red clown cheeks, but you saw how easily I was able to blend it out and diffuse it. It works really well over foundation as well, like I'm wearing it right now. You also saw it over bare skin. I really, really like this formula. I wouldn't call it a shimmer finish at all. It's more of a natural finish. It doesn't have any shimmer to it, but I wouldn't call it matte either. I think it's really true to its name in calling it seamless skin. When you apply the color, it really looks like it's coming from your skin, like a natural flush. Of the two shades that I purchased, I'm wearing Pink Poetry right now, which is a beautiful shade, and I think that it'll work really well in the winter time and when I wear cool tone looks. I think due to my skin tone, I'm going going to get a lot more use out of the shade Island Glow because it has a little bit of a peachy warmth to it, and I feel like it's going to flatter a lot of the makeup looks that I personally like to do. Both shades are absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed working with Pink Poetry and doing my makeup a little bit differently today. This kind of fresh-faced vibe is something that goes really well with the Pink Poetry shade. I know I'm going to enjoy having these in my collection. I absolutely love the packaging. This is genius. Having the clear stopper so that you can tell the shade that you have is going to be really useful because I can see myself getting a lot more of these in my collection. They're really easy to work with. I was able to blend them out with my fingers, but also a stippling brush. And then for my final application, I also used a foundation brush. Both of those were synthetic, and I think that the product blended out beautifully, even over some of the very limited powders that I applied to my face in terms of the bronzer and my under eye setting powder. I love these. Unfortunately, these are sold out, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit to add them to our collections, but I'm really excited that I have these two to play with in the meantime. Really, really beautiful products. These are going to last forever. And last but not least, the Elevated Glow. I really enjoyed this product. I love cream highlighters. Cream and liquid highlighters are something that I really, really enjoy. I love the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I also love the Glow Lust from Auric. And I can see myself using this product much in the similar way that I would use those two. I think the one advantage that this has over those two products, in my opinion, is the fact that this does have a slight blurring effect. Ordinarily, when I apply a cream highlighter, liquid highlighter, even powder highlighter, anything that I have in this area is going to be emphasized. I mean, that's what highlighters do. But I do feel that this has a very subtle blurring effect that I feel that if you're a little bit more mature, or if you have any issues with your skin texture in the general area where you would normally highlight, you'll really appreciate the blurring effect that this one gives. When I showed you in the close-up, you saw next to the foundation. So you saw areas of my skin that have foundation. I didn't apply foundation in the areas where I applied the highlighter, and I think it just connected seamlessly. No pun intended. So overall, even though I think that you're going to have products that perform similar to this, the advantage is going to be in that blurring effect, and that's what makes it just a little bit different. I love the shade that I chose. It looks beautiful on bare skin as well as with makeup applied, and I'm also going to very much enjoy having that in my collection. As if you couldn't already tell, I'm really happy with the products I added to my collection. I had a lot of fun playing with the makeup today, even though it is so late in the day. I was so excited to try this that I wanted to film as soon as my package arrived. So I'm really glad I did. I hope to share this video so that it's useful to you in case you are considering any of these products. I hope you enjoyed playing with them and discovering them together. If you have any other questions that I didn't mention in my video, leave those in the comment section down below. I will also link anything else that I have applied to my face in the description box. Some of those will be affiliate links, and if you choose to shop through my links, it does earn me a really small commission and it doesn't cost you anything extra. I really appreciate it, and it's a great way to show support for your fellow creators. Other than that, that's everything for me today. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I hope you're doing really, really well, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.